everyone. This is Elliott Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here on CCW TV. And Happy New Year, Jose.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Welcome to Season 3.
Ours is Season 3?
Season 3. Season 3 of the CCW program. By the time these episodes air, it will be the new year. And we will have, I think I called it, it would be past, I want to say it's around 301. Our last season ended on episode 301.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and then this will be the first episode of Season 3 where we're tinkering a little bit with how the site looks. I tinkered a little bit with the intro, not a whole lot. I still need to find music, music that we can use without having YouTube kind of like silence our video because we're using somebody else's music, and that and so on. So anyway, so thanks for joining us. And what we're going to do with this opening segment is review a bit of the awards that we're going to be posting on the CCW blog. For those of you who have been visiting the CCW blog, you know that we have the CCW Nation Awards. All the votes are in. I'm in the process of tallying all the CCW Nation Awards, and to be quite honest, it's kind of all over the place. We have a lot of nominees that are kind of all over the place, and instead of making that, one person vote wins because, just one vote, I'm going to take the top nominees in each category, and we're going to put them up for a vote on the blog. But today, we are going to announce the top 3 nominations for the Golden Lobe. The Golden Lobe Award. So, if you were wondering what the Golden Lobe is, you really should be visiting the blog. But quickly, the Golden Lobe is recognition for the worst thing that happened in comics in 2009. Really the worst thing.
And there's so much to pick from there.
But this is a funny thing. We got so many more nominations for the CCW Nation Awards, for the best of. We got a ton of nominations. Not as many nominations for the Golden Lobe. So I guess in a way that's kind of heartening that our fans really want to recognize the good more so than bashing the bad. But trust me, there was plenty to bash. And we got a lot of repeat votes, nominations for the Golden Lobe. Of course, Brian Bendis got a lot. Many folks said that Jeff Loeb should get a nomination for his own award.
But he already kind of wins because it's named after him.
It's named after him.
So we don't need to really give him... Well, I don't know. He could still win it. I mean, that'd be quite the coup.
Well, that would, but then people would think it was rigged.
Well, it is called the Loeb Award for a reason.
And it's so funny that on my appearance on Chicago Now Radio a week or so ago, Demar, one of our viewers, actually called into the show and asked if Jeff Loeb had a hit out on me from this whole thing. No, Jeff Loeb, I don't think, if Jeff Loeb even knows about the Golden Loeb Awards, he's not really making hay about it. So, it's all in good fun. So anyway, we're going to put the 3 nominees for the Golden Lobe up on the blog. So you'll have to go to the blog, look at the link right here on the site. But we'll give you an idea of who might be on the ballot. We have, of course, the Dark Reign event for Marvel Comics, which got a lot of votes on the blog. And the other event for worst was Battle for the Cowl.
That was pretty terrible.
Battle for the Cowl. So I'd be curious to see how Dark Reign would do against Battle for the Cowl. An interesting one. J. Michael Straczynski getting forced off the Thor title, which actually was due to Dark Reign.
Yeah.
So Dark Reign kind of like just had all these side effects from it. Captain America Reborn, which still hasn't finished. and we'll be talking about that later in this in these segments. As far as there were nominations for worst teams, Dark Avengers was nominated. Rulk for worst character. Would be kind of, when you think about it, if Rulk won, in essence, Jeff Loeb wins.
Right.
Because that's his character.
Right.
We had
God, there's so much terrible stuff
really
this year.
Greg Horn
Jesus.
was nominated.
He wins right now. I'm making him win the winner.
Ultimatum by Jeff Loeb was also nominated. Man. And The Death of Ultimate Comics, which was a byproduct of Ultimatum.
Wow, all these are Marvel except for Battle for the Cowl, right?
Battle for the Cowl, yeah. I'm going up and down.
Marvel.
Tony Daniel was nominated, so that's again DC.
That's Battle for the Cowl, though.
Yeah, Battle for the Cowl. The Old Man Logan finale. The Old Man Logan finale.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
It was pretty terrible.
And all this stuff is terrible.
And you know what? I want to... I'm sorry. There is another DC...
You guys did some good... You guys some really good, bad shit out there.
I take it... there is one other DC thing. James Robinson was nominated and Cry for Justice. Cry for Justice.
Yeah.
So that was a DC thing, too. So that was pretty... That's I love James Robinson, but not that great. Matt Fraction got nominated for Uncanny X-Men.
I would nominate him on there.
Yeah.
This fucking awful book.
And I'm going to nominate a commenter. I'm going to nominate a commenter from the blog. A commenter by the name of Dad, D-A-D, actually had the audacity of blaming fanboys for Marvel's practices. That it was the old, it's Marvel's fault if they reprint all the stuff. But JMS getting forced off Thor is that because fanboys don't want creators. They want certain characters. They don't care for the creators. They want certain stories being told with those characters. And if fanboys will buy this stuff, then they're to blame. Now that I think about it, he does really have a point there. But I did want to say, it's kind of like the old, you're blaming the victim. He's like blaming the victim for the way things are. So, Anyway, if you want to see who of these categories will be up for vote, we're going to have 3 of these. 3 of these are going to be actually up for vote to get the Golden Lobe. Follow the link to our website and our blog, and you'll get a chance to vote. Anything you wanted to offer on that?
No.
I will say this, and this is something maybe it's something that we can revisit in Last Rants, but Mark Millar for Old Man Logan, no one nominated Kick-Ass.
That's probably because I didn't nominate anything on the...
Really?
It would have been...
And I saw the Kick-Ass trailer. Now, if you visited the blog, you saw the Red Band trailer that showed the bit with Hit Girl. And then I want to say it was Iron Muskrat who posted the regular trailer.
No, that wasn't the regular. It was just a clip of the movie.
The clip with
Nick
Cage and the girl.
Yeah.
I had 2 completely different reactions between those 2. The Red Band trailer turned me off. It really turned me off. Mm-hmm. It seemed incredibly unoriginal and derivative, and
just like the comic.
Yeah, I mean, wire food.
That
stuff.
thing looks just like the comic.
Yeah. The trailer, the bit with Nick Cage and the little girl, where he shoots her.
See, that was the difference, because the clip with Nick Cage shooting the girl, that was realistic. You actually see that happening. But when you see the girl like throwing her guns up in the air and then throwing the clips into the gun, it's like...
Which is, you can't do that. You can do that 1,000,000 times.
They do it in manga all the time. What are you talking about?
What?
They do it in manga all the time.
Oh, in manga? I'm talking about in real life, right?
Oh,
yeah, you can't do that in real life.
That's true.
I've taken clips and try to... The physics just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So it looks like they're trying to ground it a little bit in reality, and they're trying to go over the top at the same time in the same movie.
It's
so schizophrenic. It's like, just pick one. That was the whole problem with that comic with Kick-Ass. It's like he just couldn't pick one. He either could have picked to be gritty and real and have it realistic like the first couple issues, or just have it be completely over the top like the rest of the series. Just pick one, and it would have, but whatever.
I will say this: the bit though with Nicolas Cage and Little Girl, that actually got me interested in seeing the movie.
I still don't want to see it.
But then after seeing the Red Band trailer, that kind of kills my interest in it.
Oh.
And I thought that scene when the little girl says, "I'm gonna order a sundae," before Nicolas Cage unloads. That was really black humor, and I'm ashamed to say I actually laughed at that. I actually laughed at it. And the thing about Mark Millar, I might find myself doing a little bit of a 180 on him in 2010. After reading Bendis's Fortune and Glory and the account of everything that Brian Bendis went through to try to get Torso and Jinx made into movies and getting nowhere, the fact that Mark Millar now has 2 comic books being made into movies, it's pretty impressive. I mean, there are a lot of really good comics out there that you think would translate well into film that would make good movies.
Well, Wano was pretty terrible.
But it got made, is what I'm saying.
No, and it made a lot of money,
and
too.
it made a lot of money.
Terrible.
And Kick-Ass is getting made, and it's going to make money.
Terrible. Well, I know, it's going to make a ton of money.
But the fact that it just gets made is really impressive. So there's something about the Mark Millar formula right now that it's taking off. He's striking while the iron is hot, and it's just, he's rolling 7s every time. So,
and he's also going to direct his own movie.
He's not directing Kick-Ass, though, right? There's a third one that he's working on.
There's a third one that he's working on.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's directing a movie, but it's not based on any comic properties that are out right now.
Oh, okay. So something he created to direct.
Exactly.
See, that's kind of impressive. I gotta at least give him that.
Well, if everything he didn't do was just utter shit, I would actually care, but I don't.
But it's like,
well, good.
The fact that it made a movie out of it. Although there's no accounting for taste, really, because again, there are a lot of really. I would.
Yeah, you know what? They made a movie out of Garfield. They made 2 movies out of Garfield. Okay.
I like the first Garfield movie. I like Garfield. Big cat likes lasagna. But you see what I'm saying here.
Just because it gets made doesn't mean it's good.
But it gets made is the point I'm trying to make.
But
you got to give someone credit for actually getting it made into a movie.
Here's the thing about, and I can't believe I'm going to fucking say this. So Brian Michael Bendis has a problem making Jinx and Torso into movies, right? Mm-hmm. Jinx and Torso are great books.
They are. They actually are.
They are really, really good, and I think that those movies, if they were being made exactly like those books, would only speak to a certain amount of the population. People who are like a little bit, and who like mysteries and people with a little bit of intellect. Everything Mark Millar writes and get made in a movie, utter shit. Like Transformers, it just speaks to a wider audience, and that's the difference. I seriously think that's the difference. When you look at Torso and Jinx, how those didn't get made into movies, I completely understand, because the source material is really, really good. But when you have something as utterly accessible as Kick-Ass and Wanted that's just terrible, I'm sorry, but that's what sells in mainstream America.
It's what sells. And the only thing I'm saying is I'm not trying to say that the source material itself is exemplary. All I'm saying is Mark Millar has been playing the system as well as you can.
I completely agree with that.
As well as you can. And he's getting those movies made. And when you look at the number of comic books and a number of scripts that are out there in development hell that will never see the light of day,
Well, but I think Kick-Ass got made because he actually financed that movie.
Which is also another impressive thing.
Right.
If you can finance it out of your own pocket and it gets made,
so that's another reason why Kick-Ass was actually made, is because he self-financed it.
Yeah, but you got to give the guy credit for that. He puts his money where his mouth is.
You say so.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All right, so go over to the blog and be ready to vote on who will win the Golden Lobe. And I will also have the categories and nominees for the CCW Nation Awards. We're going to make the voting pretty... the voting's not going to last real long. It's just going to be about a week or two, for as long as it takes for this series of videos to run, and when Jose and I get together again for our next round of segments, but we will announce that on the blog. All right, when we come back, we're going to do a couple reviews for some books of 2009 that we really enjoyed. Jump back into things. We hope we see you then.